just want to keep this kind of as natural as we can. I'm not going to go into too much detail as we do. We're not pundits or anything. But last couple of weeks, I've been doing like interviews and stuff, and it's always what's going to improve the electricity league and what's wrong with it and stuff like that. But what I want to know is what you enjoy about it and what gives you your buzz off it. And don't say you get to show off your wardrobe every week.
Well, no, it's not a wardrobe I want to show off. Come here, do you know what I mean? For me personally, it's the players. I just enjoy watching players, young players coming through. I think when you start, I think you were 17 when we started with you. And then when I see people like yourself progress and go and have great careers out of it, it's something that kind of drives me on then for other players to do that as well. And we've been fortunate we've done that. Now through that process you want to be successful. And you know, with Cobh and with Waterford to a certain extent, so I've had certain elements of success. But that's always been based on the players that I had. Really great lads. The backroom people within League of World of Football, they're the salt of the earth. The volunteers are the salt of the earth. Some of the best people I've ever met in my life, I've met through League of World of Football. So that's what keeps me going. Yeah, it has its faults. We all know that, and it's very easy for us to come on to stuff like this and criticise the league and have opinions on it. There's nobody more opinionated than me there. But you know, it's easy to do. But for all its faults, there's just some fantastic young players in it and some fantastic volunteers.
It's just getting out on the match day, playing the game that you love as a kid. That's really it, like, that's what drives you on. Making friendships in the game as well. I think any player will tell you there's friendships for life you make out of this game.
Sometimes you might even get married out of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Huh?
Lucky.
I wouldn't advise it.
So like, when you first started out, like we never really had this conversation, we never really sat down and had coffee and understood where you came from in Dublin. Like where did you start? Obviously you were a big football family with your dad, and you know, there was a line of goalkeepers there. Like, you know.
Yeah, where did I start? Schoolboy and stuff like that?
Yeah, so like,
yeah, I was actually only talking about that today, and we were on the A licence and we were having a conversation about that. I started off when I was about 4 or 5 for a year with a team called St. Columban's in Coolock. But after that then I spent all my career down with all my schoolboy career with a team called Stella Maris in the Dublin District Schoolboy League. Yeah, you should know them well because they were a great club. We won everything. So, you know, we were Richmond Road was a fabulous place to play football. Again, we're going back to friendships. I'm still in touch with some of the players I played with back then. Some of the people, actually some of the players I played with are now running the club. So, you know, time is flying by. But Stella Maris mainly, that's where I done all. And my brother was there, my 2 brothers were there. Wayne was different, he went to Cherry Orchard. But as you say, we were all goalkeepers. And, you know, but it was a genuine love of the game. Football not only gives you friendships, but it can put you on a right path as well there. Do you know what I mean? I grew up in some great areas in terms of Coolock and Cabra, fabulous place. Both places were brilliant to grow up. But like most places, you know, you could, if you took a wrong turn, you could be in a bit of trouble. Football kind of kept us on it gave us a discipline and it gave us a love of the game and it gave us respect for people and a discipline in our lives that we've kind of brought into you know, now that I'm in my 30s.
There's no discipline. Not when it comes to speaking your opinion, but then again, look, football is an opinionated game, like, and you have to be able to speak it. Lots of people, like, this kind of stuff is, you know, pub talk, and that's why you like it. You know, you get to say what you want, and there's kind of a relaxed kind of feeling, and you should be able to express your opinion. And you, Paul, where did you start?
I started in a local club in Kildare, Clane United. How I ended up in goals, it was just me and my brother playing out the back, and one of us had to go in goals, like, so that's how it started. And
You're saying you were the beta male, is it?
Yeah, I was the one that would stand in front of the ball and do them whacked it at me.
And Clane actually have a soccer team?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Right.
I played there.
Kildare? Where's that?
Yeah.
Soccer? Kildare?
And then I moved up to Dublin Because when I was growing up, you had to move to Dublin if you wanted to make a career. That's so much the game, you don't have to do that anymore. But that was the way it worked back when I was growing up. So I moved up to Bows then, and I played there for all underage then, from then on, all the way up to seniors then. But I just fell in love with goalkeeper from being out the back with my brothers, and just as a kid you love diving around and getting money. My man doesn't thank me even now, like, but that's how I just fell in love with it.
Oh, look, two good goalkeepers as well. Do you watch much football? You're a big United fan, aren't you?
I used to be.
I used to be too. There's something common there. I think that's what a lot of United.
I think he's turning us all off.
He's killing it.
Just can't watch them anymore. I said that I was going to give them another goal there last week against, who was it? Who did they play last week? Whoever it was. Brighton. And I had enough of that. You know what I mean? I got home and watch a schoolboy match now rather than watch Manchester United.
Shane Duffy getting man of the match.
Yeah, there you go. That says it all, really, doesn't it? No disrespect to Shane, but when you're up against a team with, so-called superstars on it, and Duff was getting man of the match.
That's it,
and they slag our league.
Oh, it's been so bad, frustrating as a United fan, watching it week in, week out. And then when you look at Liverpool, oh my God, they've got a fantastic side.
But does that not break your heart to say that?
Well,
Do you know what I mean? That breaks my heart to say that I would rather watch Liverpool play than Manchester United. That breaks my heart to say I feel like I'm a traitor in some ways, because I grew up following Man United when they were in the second division. So when I was a little kid, I always had a little graph for United. Even I went over on trial to them, and even though they didn't sign me, I still went there. But it's just at a stage there now where I'd much rather watch that Liverpool team, because they give you so much more enjoyment to watch. There's a real dynamic team there, a real offensive team. Klopp lets players play. And then you go and you watch United and you see a team that's not dynamic, you see a team that's disorganised, and you see a team that just completely lacks confidence, and you see all these flair players who are not allowed to be flair players, and it just drives you mad and it just takes you back. And then I say, if you look at that Man United team, and then people will criticise the League of Ireland, do you know what I mean? You'll never find a League of Ireland player having an attitude about themselves and not giving 100% effort week in, week out, where you have some of these prima donnas over there earning 250 grand, they're going on strike to get a move. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's another thing about our league that we have to do. It's just the honesty of it. It's just the honesty of the player in it, and his determination, and anybody who supports a team, irrespective if the player comes for 1 year or 3 years, that he will give you 100%. So that's why I'd much rather go and watch a League of Ireland game now than watch that nonsense on the telly.
There you go, keep it poor.
Keep it poor. I wouldn't go that far.
Who do you support, Monday?
I would say I used to follow United as well. But like you said, it's horrible watching Liverpool playing the way they are. And worse for me, my brothers and dads support Leeds. And they're playing well as well.
Leeds are coming back.
Yeah.
So do you know what, they're coming back well? I'd like to see that kind of stuff though.
It's the worst kind of year for me. Leeds and Liverpool are way up, and United are on the way down.
Like Leeds there last week. Did you see any of the clips?
I've seen the clips,
So they've had a few. I think they played 3 or 4 games on TV, and I think they're playing better than United are at the moment.
I think they should get back to the Premiership. It's been there's so many fans around Ireland as well, Leeds fans, they've been kind of waiting in the shadows, and that always happens every so often. Man City are great as well. Pep Guardiola, any experience with him?
No, it's just that he's just made it so difficult now for coaches, hasn't he? He's just taken it on to another level.
Oh, he's killed us.
You know what I mean? Everybody's looking at it, how can you be Pep? And the reality is you can't be Pep, because you need resources. You need resources. Now it's very easy to say resources, but the man is a football genius, and how he approaches the game is completely different to how anybody has in the past. And maybe that's what's rubbing up Mourinho the right play as well. Do you know what I mean? Mourinho realises he's not to be left behind, and he seems, he seems a man that's disillusioned. That's all I can see. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of Pep, he's just brought everything onto a new level, hasn't he? Training, systems of play, where the fullback should be in a match, everything has changed, hasn't it? And if you went and done your A licence and you tried half the stuff he's trying, you'd fail it.
Oh, you probably would.
Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, there's a lot of knowledge going behind that as well, and there's a lot of work needs to be done. if you do that with your own team, you have to be full-time in it for one.
Well, you have to be.
And you have to have good players and committed players, and again give them the confidence. But it's good to see anyway.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Taking the game on to another level in a positive way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not defensive. It's a very offensive game that he's playing. And when you have someone who's changing the face of the game, but it's entertaining to watch, that's always a positive. Whereas Jose, he brought a discipline to the game that was interesting at the time. But again, the evolution of the game now is that it has to be more attack orientated, and it has to be, if people are paying 60 quid to go in and watch it, there has to be an element. At Cobh Ramblers, they pay a tenner in. We still feel we have an obligation to try and play a certain way to make it entertaining. It doesn't always happen for us, but it's not because of the lack of trying.
No, exactly. And look, we all know how he sets up his teams. Like, back on the back foot, getting like Sanchez, attacking players come back, and it's just out of their game. And then fans are blaming players, where it's totally down to the manager and the system in United. That kind of like, who took him on, is the thing. They know what way he plays. Yeah. United never played like that before. But look,
you just get the sense that if Ferguson was still there, Rashford would possibly be the best player in the Premier Division now. If Ferguson was still there, Martial, come with a real talent, and and then you have the lad Sanchez there. Sanchez looks like he's never played football in his life. He just looks like a fella running around headless in the playground, and that's coming from Jose, whether we want to admit it or not. The amount of criticism that he gives them publicly, do you know what I mean? Players are going to react badly to it. Pogba goes over, unbelievable influence in the World Cup, goes back to Man United, can't make a 5-yard pass. Something going on there. Yeah,
and just as Steve was saying there a while ago, about the players in the Electricity League, that they want to give you their all, and how do you feel towards that? Are you kind of in that impression towards fans, like I have to play my best? Obviously, being a player, you're going to be able to play my best every week, but you
have to do it for yourself, and you have to do it for obviously the fans. You have to do it for the fans, but you have to do it for your teammates as well. There's no point you going and giving 50% and then the rest of the teammates you giving 100. It's just not going to work. Let's be honest, you're not going to stay in this league if you don't give 100%. Because it's the only way you actually stay in the League of Ireland. You have to give 100% every week. And there's been players that I've seen that have been good players on the ball, but they won't do the work off the ball, or they won't do the work in training, and they're gone out of the league, and they're playing local league, or they're playing whatever, and it just you can't do it. You have to be 100% every week.
Just one thing to touch on there, and I think a lot of people don't understand as well how athleticism comes into the game these days, and just training alone isn't good enough. You're talking about your work on the pitch, and there's work off the pitch that has to be done as well now by players, and I don't think they understand it. If you want to, especially in the Irish League, you have to be working outside. It has to be kind of your full time, even though the part time clubs, and it's a bit of bollocks in a way from but if you want to make it.
Well, it's not. If it's a bollocks in a way for them, they shouldn't be playing League of Ireland football. League of Ireland football is a lifestyle.
No, but it's hard.
It is hard, yeah. But you have to embrace that. There's nothing in life, that you get easy. Do you know what I mean? You got to work hard for it. Like I said, League of Ireland football is a lifestyle, and when you come into it, you have to understand that it's a lifestyle. That means that you can train 3 times a week on the field, and then just twice a week that you're going to have to drive yourself in the gym. You're going to have to look after your diet, you have to look after how you hydrate, you have to give up weekends, you have to give up family weddings, you have to give up parties. Like I said, it's a lifestyle. And even Paul and Trish, 2 National League players, organised their wedding after the season. Do you know what I mean? It may seem a small thing, but that's a huge thing for a couple to do. But that's how professional they are, because they fit into that lifestyle of being a footballer, irrespective if you're part-time, amateur or full-time. It's full-time there, that's it. It's absolutely full-time. And this is why I go back to it. You have nothing but respect. I have nothing but respect for a group of lads that are in that dressing room next door to me, because we are an amateur club. But these boys will give you 100%. Every time we have a training session, we're there. A cool down session, they're there. We had Martin and Mikey O'Shea come in there now doing the conditioning, they've done the food and hydration. The boys have latched onto it, they're cooking their home meals there. Do you know what I mean? They're eating before training, eating after training, what they're drinking. It's absolutely fantastic to see, and you have nothing but respect for them. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying this is why I love about this league, is that you just can't but have respect for the players that are involved in it. It's like Paul says, those who don't buy into the lifestyle don't last in League of Ireland long. And that's what I'm saying. The people that are involved in League of Ireland football, you know what I mean, go and appreciate them, because they are the salt of the earth.
Yeah, Hunty, to be fair, you should go to the gym a bit more, because you don't look like you've been to the gym. So look, I have something here. I'm going to read it. Boss Watch is the heading, okay? To do well in this division, you need big physical players, and I shopped around with that in mind. However, no manager is ever totally happy with what he's got, and I'm no different in that respect. I could do with another centre half, as Robert Brosnan and Colm Falvey, that's Colin Falvey, are no longer with us. With sides having to play each other 4 times, it's the managers who face the biggest challenge. After a while, you will get to know all the different free kick routines, the general shape of teams, who the main danger is, and so on. The manager that can vary his tactics and change his system will gain an important competitive edge. And there he is in the background.
Holy shit. Is that Davy Warren?
Yeah, Stevie Warren, long time ago, isn't it? I found that your rates are real, isn't it?
Oh my god. What am I like by?
You look young there, don't you?
The Just For Men was walking right that day.
But this was a great little magazine, actually. I remember my dad used to collect all these, and that's what it kind of seemed like. And to be fair, like it is a great little
Was
magazine.
that Davy after getting the double hat trick against Monaghan? I think he got player of the month for that. Yeah, double hat trick.
Can you hear that kind of back, like? Because I find that if I have, like, even I'm reading some of the stuff back in the interviews I did, and I'm kind of like, geez. Your opinion kind of changes, doesn't it? Like,
well, the game changes.
Yeah.
So the game changes. So if the game changes, you have to change. It's as simple as that. What I would say is that, like, you would have to, even now, like Paul will tell you, we don't have a fixed system of play. We have 3 or 4 systems that we will use, because we play the same teams so often that, you know, we could play a 4-3-3, or we could play a 4-4-1-1, or we could play 3-5-2. And that predominantly is that we don't allow teams to get comfortable with us, that they don't get to know us too well. Especially last year, it was only 18s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was only 18s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, you couldn't, no. You know, the only way we'd leave it is if it was really going really well, and irrespective of what a team done against us, it was still good enough to beat them. But then we'd run with it. But then obviously if you got 1 or 2 injuries, that system starts to fall apart a little bit, and then you have to try and tinker with it. So, like, in that terms, I don't think that's changed. But yeah, definitely, you know, the big striker up front, the game has changed from getting her up there. The big centre halves, they have to be big, yeah, but they have to be cultured as well. They have to have a bit of pace. Like, I believe, seriously, you would have played Premier Division in England if you had a bit of centre half, instead of wanting to be Roy Keane all your life. Do you know what I mean? Because you had all those attributes. Do you know what I mean? You were big, you were strong, you were exceptionally quick, really, really aggressive. Do you know what I mean? And that today, that is the modern day centre half now, still.
Oh, I kind of know myself, but it's huge. It's huge thing is, like, when you're younger, to try and listen to mentors, like, and look. It's something you try to get across to probably kids nowadays. They just don't listen, like, and everyone was saying it to me, my father was saying it to me, you were saying it to me, you know, like, and I kind of never really, I was just like, had it on my head.
You had it in your head, and Gavin, it's easy to say, but I do believe, I know you had a great career anyway, but I do think you would have got yourself an international cap and all if you had went centre half, because I think at that stage you were ahead of your time.
Yeah. Any questions that anyone's asking?
Shout out to David Dunley, is
There's
it?
a few, John, yeah, just thoughts on the cup final versus Derry.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. Congratulations, reaching the cup final.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. It's like something out of fucking in betweeners or something. You
Well,
know,
it is, isn't it?
The Champions League with
Huh?
What was it, Hunty? Do you remember it in between us?
No.
Jay, he said he won the
Oh, he
Champions League.
completed.
Yeah, completed.
Yeah, Football Manager or something.
Football
like that.
Manager or some conference
FIFA or
he took him to
something.
the Champions League. It's insane.
Alright. Don't know what to say to that, to be honest with you. But,
I know, but like, geez, you beat off some good competition there. That, like, that's a good cup.
well, like the Dundalk match itself, to beat Dundalk, you know, that's incredible. Look, that's just incredible. And the fact is we deserve to be. But for us now, the club itself is in existence nearly 100 years, and it's the first time it's got to a national senior final. In League of Ireland terms as well, it's all we've won is the Munster Senior Cup. We've won the 4th Division, and now we've put ourselves in a position to win the 3rd most important cup in this country. So it's been absolutely fantastic. But again, I'll revert back to the lads. For me, it's all about them. It's all about the people, the volunteers who work behind the scenes here, who don't get any credit, who don't get any mentions. It's a fantastic day out there for them. Like, you know, my missus is the secretary of the treasurer of the club, and I can tell you now, it wasn't for it, the club would have been buried. Do you know what I mean? So for people like Cord and Ian Ryan and you know, John Hewitt and Dave Fleming, and you know, like I'll probably forget names, Michael O'Donovan, the chairman. Do you know what I mean? There's Billy O'Leary. We've a small group. It's a very small group, but it's such a hard working group there. There's so much to be done. We just can't do it. So like when we get to national finals like this, it's for them, and it's for the players, and it's for them to enjoy. It's going to be a magnificent occasion. It's going to be obviously in Derry. There's going to be 3,500 Derry supporters there. It's going to be on a synthetic pitch. I mean, where else? You know, it'll be right to win a cup final there. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have to go up there and embrace that and say, hang on, this is another free hit for us. You know, this is a full-time professional outfit we're going up against. It's in their home patch. It's in front of their home crowd. Jesus. Where else would you want to take
it out? Just speaking about, like, you know, how hard it is for you as well. Like, you're working during the day, coming to games at night. Like, getting the cup final is a big thing as well.
Yeah, it's what you work for. It's as well out of players. It's a reward for what you work for. You're going to work in the morning, then you've got to get training, then you've got to go to the gym if you're not training. You're already eating right, and it's the lads actually see that there's something. If you do it properly, there's something at the end of it for them. And if they work 100% and they're together as a team, that they're well capable of beating teams above them. So I think even going into next year, it's good for them to get that confidence, to see that they can actually do it.
Have you any other big league medals on your
First
division?
First division,
yeah. Very good, like, yeah.
I just left someone out there, and it's very important that I didn't leave him out, Ian Ryan.
Yeah.
Ian has been magnificent for us in the club here. We lost our kit man, and Ian, you know, he's gone through a difficult time himself, but Ian is, again, he's at the ground for us. He sets the gear out. Paul will tell you.
He's there, like Ian's there on a Friday night before games. He has the gear set out. You walk in Saturday, the jellies are out, the fruit, the water for and he has.
It's the small things, isn't it? It's the small things make the big things, you know.
The man even has the jelly separated for each player, so he has them in a little lunchbox.
That's a bit scary.
I know, but
that's a bit scary.
On a Friday night,
he needs a bit of help for that one.
You should like you walk in the dressing room and the gear is just laid out perfect for you. You're not looking for anything. The tape is there. Everything is there for you.
And that's why we do it there. It's gone back to your previous. It's for people like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have a bad back. When we beat Dundalk, that man jumped on me back and he put me in hospital for a month. Do you know what I mean? But when I seen it was him, you know, he's brilliant, as they all are. So like, that's what we're saying. Like, this is what football's all about. We've had a tough league campaign. This is the youngest team we've ever had in the 3 years we've been there. It's the youngest team. But through all that process of where we are in the league, you can see a real team starting to form again, can't you?
Yeah.
You know, the likes of Hunty there, Shane O'Connor coming back, Stephen Kenny coming back in, the likes of the Donlans and these people getting older and more mature. You can see there's a real team starting to form there again. So we'll take the hit in the league this year, but on top of that we have a national cup final. But more impressive then, you can see the real proper team forming again with young players, and hopefully we'll have a right go off it next year.
Look, as you said, you're finishing strong, which is good.
Yeah.
You can see that clearly. So we talked a bit about UK, we talked about Ireland leagues. So we'll go down a bit lower now. Obviously, local league here to try and get in a bit.
Is it?
You go to any games?
Yeah, sure. We have to. We're constantly looking at games because we're looking at players.
They're looking for you guys.
Well, you see, the thing there is that in the Munster Senior League, there's good players there, but there's good players there who don't want to adapt to the lifestyle of a league of
You've got to be able to.
It's a whole thing. We have tried to sign players who just don't want to travel the country, and I love when they tell me that, because it saves me from making a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If they're open and say, no, I don't fancy that, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? But there are good players out there, not just in the senior division. Do you know what I mean? In the Premier, there's a few teams out there. We go down to the AUL as well to have a look and just see if there's any hidden gems around the place. Obviously, our academy system is hugely important to us. 90% of our team now, our squad, has come through our academy system. We do that 17s or 19s, so that's huge for us. But in terms of experienced players, we have to go to the Munster Senior League and see if the player has the quality, and then have a good chat with him, and then see if he has the mentality. They're hard to find, but when you find them, they're normally gems.
Yeah. And as you said, the attitude is huge, and I suppose I'm looking at it back when I was playing with Cobh and you were the manager, and they were all men. Now it's all young fellas because it kind of suits it. I suppose we're working, I suppose travelling around the country is a huge thing. I remember I was down with you coaching, and I was just we work as well. I was I had to pull back, but you kind of in the same boat. Are you kind of thinking lads are, their job? It's more important their job, and it kind of suits a younger player.
Yeah, I think lads don't want to take their half day on a Friday, or they don't want to give their weekends up. And
is it the same in all the teams in the league? Are they quite young?
Yeah, it's getting
the first division. It is. Yeah.
But if you go with that little Bowes team, now, if you look at that Bowes team are very young. What Keith's doing there is fantastic. If you look at the Shamrock Rovers team, you know what Stephen's there, he's getting stick for results. But that kind of stuff takes a bit of time, and if you give that time, what happens is then there's a real sustainability. If you look at what happened with Ferguson, do you know what I mean? Ferguson, they were going to sack him.
Yeah.
Because he was bringing these in and they were saying it was stupid, you can't win anything with kids, but then it clicked. And I think that will happen with Rovers as well, that it will click, and then they'll go on to dominate. They'll be the real challengers to the Corks and the Dundalks of this world. So people are saying that, young players, but again, it's the young players who love the lifestyle. They buy into the lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? And I think in general, it's getting much younger, but that's why the Dundalks and Corks are kind of strolling with it at the moment, because they have all the really experienced players in their squads. Do you know what I mean? They have men in their squads, and that's why they, at this moment in time, the two of them are dominating the league. But the other teams are starting to slowly get there.
As I said, there's quality players all around Ireland, and it's just a case of finding them. And again, attitude is the biggest thing. Have we got any more questions?
Thanks for everyone who's joining here. There's no questions really. There's one from Instagram today about just competitions for us.
What's that one?
Is there any competitions coming up for Fansvoice, basically?
We'll let people know, in the future. But just want to thank Paul and Steve for coming on Fansvoicetv tonight.
Thanks for asking us. It's great.
And
best of luck with it. I hope it goes well.
It's good to see this. And
much more to it. It's brilliant. Well done.
It'll get out there and give people a different aspect on it, on football, and try and get
No, it is, because it is. It's just about having a little chat, and it's promoting the league. Do you know what I mean? It's promoting football. And that was lovely, I enjoyed that. Thanks very much. And I wish the whole lot of you the very best for it, lads. Great job.
See you later.